everyone, in this tutorial you will create the sketch shown in figure above. Extrude the sketch by 20 units and then generate a drawing with the orthographic and isometric views of the model. The isometric view of the model is shown in figure here. Starting Autodesk Fusion 360. Choose Autodesk Fusion 360 from the Start menu or double-click on the icon of Autodesk Fusion 360 on the desktop of your computer. But for this tutorial, I have already started Autodesk Fusion 360. Next, choose the Create Sketch tool from the Create panel of Ribbon. Next, we have to click on the Create Sketch tool in the Create panel of Ribbon. Choose the desired plane from the graphics window. Alternatively, you can select the plane from the browser bar. Select the XY plane, that is front plane, under the origin node from the browser bar. Next, you have to select the required plane from the graphics window, or you can also select the plane from the browser bar. I am going to select XY plane from the origin node in the browser bar. Modifying the units, snap and grid. Move the cursor on the units subnode of the document settings in the browser bar in the graphics window. Next, you have to move the cursor on the units subnode of the document settings. Choose the Change Active Units button. The Change Active Units dialog box is displayed. Click on the Change Active Units button. On doing so, you can see that Change Active Units dialog box is displayed in the graphics window. Select millimeter from the unit type drop down list if not selected by default, and choose the OK button from the dialog box. Now you have to select the millimeter option from the unit type drop down list. But here you can see that this option already selected by default, so you have to just click on the cancel button to close the dialog box. Choose the grid settings option from the grid and snaps flyout at the bottom of the graphics window. The grid settings dialog box are displayed. Next, you have to click on the down arrow here and choose the grid settings option from the grid and snap flyout. As a result, grid settings dialog box is displayed in the graphics window. Enter 100 in the measure grid spacing edit box and 20 in the minor subdivision edit box and choose the OK button. Enter 100 in the measure grid spacing edit box and 20 in the minor subdivision edit box, and then you have to choose the OK button from the dialog box. Select Snap to Grid checkbox from the grid and snaps flyout in the display settings bar if it is not selected by default. Next, you have to click on the down arrow and make sure that Snap to Grid checkbox is selected or not. But here you can see that Snap to Grid checkbox is already selected. Select the Sketch Grid checkbox from the Sketch palette window if it is not selected by default. Make sure that Sketch Grid checkbox should be selected in the Sketch palette window. Next, drawing the sketch. Specify the start point. Choose the line tool. Click on the origin. To specify the start point, you have to choose the line tool from the create panel and then click on the origin. Next, draw line 1. Move the cursor right, enter 40, tab 0, click in the graphics window. Next, you have to create line 1, move the cursor right, enter 40, tab 0 and then click in the graphics window. Draw line 2, move the cursor up, enter 10, tab 90, click in the graphics window. Next you have to create line 2, move the cursor up, enter 10, tab 90 and then click in the graphics window. Draw line 3, move the cursor left, enter 15, tab 90, click in the graphics window. To create line 3, you have to move the cursor left and then enter 15, tab 90 and click in the graphics window. Similarly, we will create rest of the line. For the dimensions, we will prefer to this figure. Next, create line 4. 30, tab 90. Now create line 5. 15, tab 90. Similarly, create line 6. 10, tab 90. Line 7. 80, tab 90. Here you can see that this one is line 7. Line 8. 10, tab 90. Line 9. 15, tab 90. Line 10. 30, tab 90. Line 11. 15, tab 90. Line 12. 10, tab 90. Finally, create line 13. 40, tab 90 to complete the sketch. Right click anywhere in the graphics window. A marking menu is displayed. Choose OK from the marking menu. The sketch of the outer loop is shown in figure here. Next, you have to right click in the graphics window and then choose the OK button from the marking menu. Here you can see that the sketch of the outer loop is created. Choose create rectangle, center rectangle from the ribbon. Next you have to click here, then choose rectangle, center rectangle from the ribbon. Starting from the origin, move the cursor vertically up by 5 units in the graphics window. At this point, click in the graphics window to set the center of the rectangle. Starting from the origin, you have to move the cursor vertically by 5 units and then click here to set the center of the rectangle. Enter 30 and 20 in the horizontal and vertical input fields respectively in the dimension input and then click in the graphics window. Next you have to enter 30 in the horizontal input field. Then press tab key and enter 20 in the vertical input field. Then click in the graphics window. Right click in the graphics window. a marking menu is displayed. Choose OK from the marking menu. The sketch is created as shown in figure here. Next you have to right click here and then choose OK button from the marking menu. Now you can see that your sketch is completed. You can arrange the dimension lines for the better visualization of the sketch. Drag this dimension to here. Move this dimension to here. You can move this dimension to here. Drag this dimension to here. Similarly, you can arrange other dimension lines. After arranging the dimension lines, the sketch will look like this. Exit the sketching environment. Choose the Finish Sketch button in the ribbon to finish the sketch. Now you have to exit the sketching environment. For this, you have to click on the Finish Sketch button. Extruding the sketch. Next you have to extrude the sketch. Choose the Extrude tool from the Create panel. To extrude the sketch, you have to choose the Extrude tool from here. Move the cursor outside the inner loop but inside the outer loop. The profile is highlighted. Next you have to move the cursor outside the inner loop but inside the outer loop. You can see that the profile is highlighted. Click anywhere in the highlighted area. A preview of the extruded model is displayed in the drawing window. Next you have to click anywhere in the highlighted area. On doing so, a preview of the extruded model is displayed here. Enter 20 in the distance edit box. You can also use the extrude manipulator to specify the extrusion depth. Next you have to enter 20 in the distance edit box and then choose the OK from the dialog box to create the model and exit the Extrude tool. The extruded model is shown in figure above. Next you have to click on the OK button in the Extrude dialog box to exit from the Extrude tool. Saving the model. Choose the Save option from the File menu or Application menu. The Save dialog box is displayed. Click on the File menu. Choose the Save option. On doing so, Save dialog box is displayed here. Enter C02 Tute01 in the name edit box. Next you need to enter C02 Tute 01 in the name edit box. Click on the down arrow on the extreme right side of the location selection box. Click on the down arrow. Select a project from the project column, or you can create a new project by choosing New Project button from the Save dialog box. Select a project from the project column. I am going to select CAD Sim project from the project column. Or you can also create a new project by clicking on the new project button. Select the save button to save the model and exit the save dialog box. Select the save button from the save dialog box to exit from the dialog box and save the model. Generating drawing views of model. Choose drawing from design in the workspaces drop-down. The create drawing dialog box is displayed. Choose drawing from design in the workspaces drop-down. Select the manual radio button from the create drawing dialog box if not selected by default. Next, you need to select manual radio button from the create drawing dialog box if not selected by default. Select the full assembly option from the contents drop-down list present in the reference node in the create drawing dialog box. Select full assembly option from the contents drop-down list. Select ISO option from the standard drop-down list present in the reference node in the create drawing dialog box. Select ISO option from the standard drop-down list. Select A3 from the sheet size drop-down list and choose the OK button. Next, you need to select the A3 option from the sheet size drop-down list and click on the OK button. Move the cursor to bottom left of the drawing sheet and then click on this location to place the attached view. Move the cursor to the bottom left of the drawing sheet and click here. Choose the projected view tool from the create panel. Next, you need to click on the projected view tool in the create panel. Select the front view as a parent view from the drawing sheet in the graphics window and move the cursor to the top of the selected view and generate the top view. Select the front view and move the cursor to the top of the selected view and click here to generate the top view. Now take the front view as the parent view and generate the drawing of the right side view and the isometric view. Now take the front view as the parent view, generate the right side view and isometric view. Right click in the drawing sheet, a marking menu is displayed. Right click in the drawing sheet. You can see that marking menu is displayed here. Choose OK from the marking menu. Next, you need to choose the OK from the marking menu. Thank you for watching this video.